It's off, and hopefully everybody can see. We'll put that one up front over there. Anybody take chemistry? Anybody? I did. I flunked it, but I took it. But there's something I learned in chemistry was this. There is such a thing called the saturation point. Anybody ever heard of that? Saturation point. M-tip, we know. You're a genius. Put your hand in. Saturation point. Listen to this. Listen to what saturation point. It's the point at which a substance will receive no more of another substance in a solution. The point at which no more can be absorbed or assimilated. The point at which a substance under given conditions can receive no more of another substance in solution. So what are you trying to tell us? I'm trying to tell you all that you all have a soul. You all have a heart. This is your heart. This is a sponge. A sponge was made to do what? To absorb, to saturate a substance, to pick it up, to clean it up. See, here's what some of you are. Some of you are just Sunday only. Just Sunday only. Just Wednesday only. That's all you are. That's all you are. So the only thing of God that you ever experience is right there. That's why all your friends can hang out with you, because you never let them get over here. You keep them back here. Some of you don't care at all. Some of you just a dry old sponge. Never get used. You got no desire to get in the bath. You got no desire to get in the Holy Ghost. You got no desire to get into His presence. Yep. Some of you, you're just half in right there. Some of you get a little bit further. You get a little bit further. You get down in there. I hope these sponges work. But it's soaking it up. But you still leave enough hanging off the edge. I'm not ready to give it all to you, God. Not yet. So what are you talking about? I'm telling you that you can either saturate yourself in God, in His presence. But if you're not saturating yourself in His presence and in the things of God, you're saturating yourself in something else. You say, what are you talking about? I'm telling you that whatever you saturate your life with in your heart, it's what's going to lead you. Now, I'm going to talk about some things that are very mature subjects, and I'll try and keep it PG-13. But I want to get real with some of you teenagers tonight. And I promise you, I have no graphics, no slides, nothing. Okay? I will keep it PG, all right? But I was reading some articles this week that struck me to my core. You see, when you saturate your life with things, you can either do it in a positive way or you can do it in a negative way. In Hebrews 3, verse 12, Paul tells us, take care, be cautious, be on watch, brethren, that there be not any one of you with an evil, unbelieving heart that falls away from the living God. Listen to this. I just read an article this week called The Demise of Our Young Men. The Demise of Our Young Men. This was put out by CNN. It goes like this. Is the overuse of video games and the pervasiveness of online porn causing the demise of guys? Increasingly, researchers tell us yes, it is. The consequences are dramatic. The excessive use of video games and online porn in pursuit of the next thing is creating a generation of risk-avoiding guys who are unable, unwilling to navigate the complex world of real life, relationships, school, and employment. You live in a fantasy world. That's why some of you can't focus on your homework for more than 2 minutes because you're so hopped up on a video game. You say, oh, you came to be mean tonight. No, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to warn you. There's a cliff out in front of you, and I'm standing there waving my arms saying, don't go this way. Come back. You say, why? Because I read stories about degeneration, about how in 2005, go to the next slide. I can't say this guy's name, so I'll let you see it. Sung Sab Lee. Sung Sab Lee. In 2005, he is a South Korean man. He went into cardiac arrest after playing StarCraft for nearly 50 continuous hours. In 2009, MTV's True Life highlighted the story of a man named Adam, whose wife kicked him out of their home. They have 4 kids together, but he could not stop watching porn all the time. And then this man, and I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to show you what real people do when they fill their hearts with junk.
Come on.
It doesn't just be something that's in the closet. At some point, it'll come out.
That's right.
This Norwegian guy, he is a mass murderer. His name is Anders Behring Breivik. Reported during his trial when he went into a youth camp and shot 77 people and killed them. They asked him, how could you do such an atrocious thing? He answered that he prepared his mind and body to kill people and be a marksman-focused shooting of 77 people by playing World of Warcraft for a year and then Call of Duty for 16 hours a day. Are you saying video games have demons? Are you saying video games have demons that jump off the TV? No, I'm telling you that these people knew that if they filled their hearts up with that type of evil, they would have no hesitancy in acting. If you fill your heart up with lust, you will sleep with that guy, you will sleep with that girl. If you fill up your minds with junk, fellas, you're no good to anybody around you. Why? Because you can't handle reality. So, no, I'm just reading you what researchers are finding out about our culture. Listen to this. They say that young men who play video games and use porn the most are being digitally rewired in a totally new way that demands constant stimulation. That's why we can't get to the youth group. Because we don't have enough games to play to tickle your fancy and get you stimulated. I tell my wife, I always sound mean to you guys, and I have no intention of being mean, but I read this stuff and it scares me for you. Those delicate, developing brains of young men are being catered to by video games and porn on demand with a click of the mouse and endless varieties. Listen to this. The researchers said these brains are so totally out of sync in traditional school classes, which are analog, static, and interactively passive. Academics are based on applying past lessons to future problems, on planning, on delaying gratification, on work coming before play, and on long-term goal settings. And some of you can't do it because when you turn on the internet and you turn on your video game, you find instant satisfaction. But the reality in this real world is there are things you have to work at. There are things you have to apply love to. There are things you have to be patient with. And you are living in a fantasy world thinking that everybody around you, if they don't stimulate you, if they don't get you excited like Call of Duty does, and if they don't get you wound up, you're not coming around. But I've got news for you. There is somebody who will stimulate the very depths of your heart. There is somebody that will gather your attention, and his name is Jesus, and he is sweet to the taste. Did you hear what I said? And I love to be in his presence.
Come on.
Young ladies, you're no different. You all know what sexting is. Most of you do. It's a very sad thing. It's a very sad thing because some girls do it, and as soon as they see themselves on Facebook or being mocked by their friends at school, they're humiliated. They contemplate suicide. They're embarrassed. They don't know how to move on. 51% of teen girls say that they feel pressure to take and send explicit photos of themselves. As many as 39% of teenagers admit to sexting once or twice. Well, what does that have to do with us? Why? Because your heart, young lady, is so enamored with that guy looking at you. Your heart is so full of all of the junk that you watch on movie theaters, telling you that real love can come in 2 minutes and it can all be wrapped up in 2 hours. And your heart is so desirous that people will look at you and pay attention